Hello, and welcome to today's Focus on the Test mini lesson. Welcome to all of our subscribers, and thank you very much for joining us. Also to our students, continue the excellent progress that you're making, and remember that your labor is not in vain. It will pay off in the end. If you're an adult seeking to earn your high school credential, be sure to check out our website at www.yourpathforadultlearners.com, where you can learn more about our online GED and Hiset program. So now on to our lesson for the day. So now here's what a test item looks like. Following is a pie chart that presents the percentages spent by a certain household on its 5 largest annual expenditures. What percentage of the money spent was spent on food, housing, and utilities? And here are our 4 options down below. We have A, 60.4%, B, 65.4%, C, 52.5%, and D, 47%. So in order to answer this particular question, the first thing that you want to do, as I've always stated, is that you want to make sure that you familiarize yourself with the chart. That's very important. So you want to begin by reading the title. So the title of this particular chart is Household Expenditures. Once you've read the title, then you also want to read everything else that's on the chart. So here we know that we're going to learn about the various expenditures of a particular household. So here we have food at 27.7%, recreation at 7.9%, insurance at 26.7%, utilities at 12.9%, and housing at 24.8% of this particular household budget. Okay? So once we familiarized ourselves with the information on the chart, you then want to go back and revisit your question. So the question once again states, what percentage of the money spent was spent on food, housing, and utilities? So after you read the question, you then want to ask yourself, what is it that I need to do in order to solve this problem and get the correct answer? So when we look at this particular question, you should know that it is asking you for the sum of these 3 items. So in order to find the sum of the 3 items, we should also know that we need to add them up in order to get the sum. So now let's do that. Okay, so now we're ready to add up our 3 items in our question, and we have food at 27.7%. We have housing, which is the next item, at 24.8%, and you want to make sure that your decimals are aligned. And then we have utilities at 12.9%. So now I have all 3 of my percentages written down, and I'm now ready to add. I have all of my decimals lined up together. So when I add up 9 plus 8, that gives me 17, plus it gives me 24. I put my 4 here, my decimal, and I carry my 2 here. I have 2 plus 7 gives me 9, plus 4 gives me 13, plus 2 gives me 15. I put my 5 here, and I carry my 1. And now I have 1 plus 2 gives me 3, plus 2 more gives me 5, plus 1 gives me 6. And so the sum of these 3 items is 65.4%. And when I come down here to my 4 options, I see that option B in this case, is the correct choice. So now we can also utilize a calculator to get the same answer, 65.4%, if we were to add up these three items. So let's start with the food expense, which is 27.7% of the budget, plus housing, which is 24.8% of the budget, and then plus utilities, which is 12.9% of the budget, equals, and once again we have 65.4%, which is option B. So now the thing that you want to remember when you are solving these sort of problems, or any type of problem that's similar to this particular problem, is that you want to make sure that you familiarize yourself with the chart. That's first and foremost. Again, read the title and all of the information that's presented in the chart. You also want to make sure that you familiarize yourself with the question by rereading it to make sure that you're clear about what it is that the question is asking you to do. In this particular case, we were being asked to add up the total of all three of these items. That is getting the sum of the three items, and we did that by adding them in order to get the correct answer, and in this case, once again, was option B, 65.4%. So good luck testing. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and hit the notification button down below so that you're notified on our new releases. Also, join us on our other social media platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.